All right. Hello and welcome. Thank you, everybody, for joining us. We have one of my favorite type of episodes that we ever get to do around here. We are doing a customer success focused new release episode. So we released ROOFLE 4.5 just a couple of days ago, and we thought it would be a great opportunity to get the customer success and onboarding team here to kind of highlight the different aspects of this new update and go over the most significant parts of it. Before we dive into the overall kind of meat of the episode today, there's a couple of things. A, this update was pretty large. There's a lot of stuff that we're not going to cover. There's small features. Biggest thing that you can do as a user is go to win.roofle.com, find a customer success rep or an onboarding specialist that you want to meet with and book some time on their calendar. That is always a great way to learn a little bit more about the program and see what other features you could be making use of. Otherwise, we're going to do a live Q&A at the end, as we always do. So you'll have an opportunity to get some questions answered. So feel free to throw your questions into the chat throughout the entire episode. Anything comes to mind, throw it in there, and we'll do our best to answer all of those questions towards the end. So other than that, we have a couple of new faces from the customer success team, and we're going to let everybody introduce themselves before we dive into our topics for today. So, Courtney Kadach, who are you and what do you do here at ROOFLE?
I'm Courtney, and I am a part of the customer success team here, and been here for over 2 years.
Awesome. Heath Gover, who are you and what do you do here?
So I like to say that I'm a old crusty roofer. I appreciate you guys letting me join the party. I work with contractors here because I understand how this fits into their workflow coming from that background.
Awesome. Colleen McCormick, same thing.
Hi, good afternoon, everyone. My name is Colleen McCormick. I am also part of the customer success team. A little bit newer here. I've been here since February, but really feels like home here. Happy to be here.
Awesome. And Adrian Goodman.
Yeah, I am one of the OGs here on the onboarding team, and been here basically since the beginning. So always happy to help and happy to get you what you need.
Perfect. Okay. So let's dive into the good stuff. For viewers, we are going to be reviewing our AccuLinks improvements. So a lot of you use AccuLinks as a CRM. We've improved our connections with them. We're going to be talking about the additional cost features that a lot of you already use. We've improved those. We're going to show you how. And we have also improved our signable proposals. That was a huge feature we dropped this year. So we're very excited to continue improving on that platform. And then lastly, we do want to highlight our weather data that we now have available. Through the end of June, you can get weather data added to all of your instant quotes for $100 for the entire year. After June 30th, it will flip to $150. So grab your discount while you can. If you need weather data added to it, we'll kind of highlight some of the features of that as we go. But to start us off, Adrian, do you mind talking to us about the AccuLinks improvements and everything that goes into that?
You're muted.
Turn your mic on there, brother.
I could have sworn I clicked that button. My apologies. One of the previous releases, we had kind of a beta here going with AccuLinks. And now this is going to be our full release here for AccuLinks. In order to connect here to AccuLinks, it's dead simple. Basically, if you come up here to your developer settings, you can see here we've got our AccuLinks card. And then if we just click how to connect, it'll take you through the steps right here. So you can log into AccuLinks, go to your app connections, and then we can very quickly and easily take it from here. So here under app connections on your AccuLinks, when you're signed in, if you scroll down, you'll see we've got RoofQuote PRO as a new section here. If we click on that, it'll ask you if you want to connect here and how to do so. If we click Get Connected, it's going to ask us to create a webhook here. So all we have to do is hit create webhook. We're going to call the webhook, ROOFLE or RoofQuote PRO. We've got the lead source here. So we can say that this is going to be RoofQuote PRO. You can always, of course, add a new lead source here directly from the screen. We hit create webhook URL. And then it's created right here. All we have to do is copy it. And then if we come back here to the developer settings and click webhooks, we can come in here, highlight this, paste it in, click save. And now we're, normally we would be connected there to AccuLinks there, but you can also have multiple webhooks here for multiple different connections. So what we can do is instead, if we come back here to AccuLinks, if we wanted to jump out of this current section here and jump into like another section for your company, another office or so forth, you can do the exact same thing, and you can set up each one of these to come in with individual markets for each one. So, but that is going to be the basics there. I see a question there about a ProLine integration. We do have a direct ProLine integration. If you want to get connected with that, feel free to drop us a line here at win.roofle.com. Happy to assist and get you connected there.
Awesome. Thank you so much for that, Adrian. And that is such a nice highlight because we've had so many people specifically asking for AccuLinks and a connection there. And we had a kind of light integration, and now we've gone even tighter with them. So it's very nice to see us kind of pulling closer and closer to that, as it's such a popular CRM. So moving on from there, we've made some updates to our additional costs feature. So when you get an instant quote, you can obviously pull up your price per square for the roof, and we generate your instant cost for that property. From there, you can then build in additional costs. So you can go and add in gutter costs, you could add in venting, you could add in chimney flashing, or any of those features. And we've made that even more a little bit robust. So Heath is going to take us through a couple of examples of what we've done there and how we've improved that situation.
Sure. Using the additional items tab, which Courtney is driving us to right now, and this additional cost, you can now, your reps have the ability to plug in something that wasn't pre-programmed. A good example, or a couple of good examples, are going to be, for instance, gutters. If they want to put a gutter, or masonry chimney flashing, another really good one, because that's going to cost a little bit more than the step flashing that's accounted for, of course, up top.
And that's such a cool feature that the ability to just kind of throw those in ad hoc as needed and create them on the fly, as previously it was still a very valuable and useful feature that a lot of people made great use of. But a admin would have to go in, set up all of those different products, all of those different items, and then build in the additional costs associated. And sales reps could only add or remove those additional costs. So sales reps being able to go in there and create their own additional costs on the fly, maybe a specific instance for a customer, to just be able to come in, and then we can go in there and throw on a special fee for getting the coolest sales rep on the team, for example. Excellent. Thank you so much for that, Heath. And now one of our probably most requested updates over the last couple of months. Earlier, in a couple of previous editions, we had released signable proposals. That was something we were really proud of and something that we were really excited about bringing to the table. We turned that on, and obviously in normal ROOFLE fashion, we just sent it out as soon as it was a viable tool and waited for feedback to come back on it. So we would let you guys use it. We let you guys give us your thoughts and concerns about it. And then we use that to make improvements. And that is the signable proposals section that Courtney and Colleen are going to tag team and explain kind of the updates and changes and improvements there. So Courtney or Colleen, whoever's first, take it away. What happened with signable proposals?
Yeah, absolutely. So a couple of big updates to our proposals, as Justice was saying. You now have the ability to not only add multiple signers, but you can also add a signature line for the contractor as well. So if you happen to live in a two signature state, you now have the ability to do that from directly within the proposal, which we will dive into here in just a second. Pretty standard couple of cover sheets that are available to you. You also have the ability to hide the cover sheet by clicking that little eyeball. And if you want to upload a cover sheet of your own, you can simply hover in between the cover and quote section to upload your own cover sheet. So there's really lots of flexibility with the proposals. And then on that quote section, you will see next to the eyeball the option to turn on initials. That is also another new feature that has been released. So you will be able to add initial lines onto the proposal as well, also for your contract terms. So there are two sections where initials can be required on the actual quote breakdown itself and or on the contract terms. Moving on to the signature, you'll see up at the top that you can add a signature line. You can add one contractor signature line, and you can add up to 5 total signatures. Should one too many lines be added by mistake, you can just click delete. And as with all of our templates, you will immediately see the change. So you know exactly what this is going to look like prior to sending it out to the homeowner.
Just going through this example here, as we're in the preview section, you're going to be able to see all of the sections where we're adding either an initial or a signature. And when we create that, again, practice is going to be one of those pieces where we highly encourage. There is no cost per doing a signable contract. So getting used to kind of the look and feel and in the presentation that you guys want to present. You do have 2 different standards as far as doing a proposal. You can do a standard proposal, which means it's going to be printed out, signed, and then maybe either handed in or scanned in. And then we also have the e-sign signature piece here. Do want to kind of go over some examples here, and I'm going to add Colleen onto this as the contractor. Because with this, it is going to do a staggered signing. And so we just want to be able to show you guys what that truly looks like. But once it's created and sent off, it is going to, you're going to be able to track that by going back into that dashboard and going to the details of the lead. And underneath proposals, as you can see here, we've practiced a couple times using the same example here. But what happens is it is showing sent. So it's sending to that first person, which is my email. So I am going to open that up and show you guys what that looks like. Here's that email. I'm going to click review and sign. And that is going to bring open the signature piece. So once they have agreed to the electronic signature disclosure terms, you'll press continue. And then from here, they'll be able to add their initials and be brought to all the sections that they need to sign and fill out. Once they finish that piece, I'm going to show you what happens on the portal side. So once I refresh this, you're going to be able to see that it is then going to open it up to the next signer. So if I go to this example, go under proposals, you are now going to see, instead of a pending, you're going to see now a date of when that was signed. The status is going to be still sent until all signers have agreed and signed their portions, which then it will turn into a green, and it'll say signed. So I know Colleen is over there getting her portion to be signed. So let me know once I can update that.
And this is one of those features that was probably most requested on the proposals. the ability to have multiple signers, because there's some states, of course, looking at you, Texas, if I'm not mistaken, that requires both owners of a property. So like a spouse and a spouse would both need to sign that contract for it to be a valid work contract. So there's a couple of states, if I'm not mistaken, that work that way. So you would have to make sure that you have that ability, either sending duplicates out to customers, but now we have it set so that you can get both parties to sign that. And like Courtney was saying, we've got that green signed status. You know it's good to go. You can go ahead and start executing on this contract.
And then from there, you can download it as a PDF or copy as a link. So just allowing you guys to have full ability of what you're needing to do. The other piece that I just wanted to quickly show is if we needed to create another proposal, you again can create as many under one contact. But I did want to show you that you do have the ability to add the measurements that are ordered. So if that is something that you want to include with your projects, you do have that ability to attach the ordered measurements that are ordered through ROOFLE as well.
There we go. So Courtney, before we go, and I've got a couple other things that I wanted to hit here, but do you mind taking us to the Success Center since we've recently updated that? So this is something I like to highlight every single time we get onto a webinar for y'all, is that we have a customer success center specifically for you. We try to make it as easy as possible for you guys to get the support that you need with this tool. We know it's a big tool and it's growing every single day. There's a lot to learn and everybody uses it in a very specific manner. So we wanted to make sure our team is readily available for anything that y'all need. So win.roofle.com, Courtney just put it in the chat. That is your success center. You can either get a generalized meeting if you need overall review of your account, make sure you're getting the most out of this tool. You can schedule a time. That's going to go to whoever is next available or whoever's available at the time that you need, anybody on our team. You can schedule a specific training for your sales team, or you can get tech support. So if you need to set up a webhook, if you need to integrate AccuLinks, if the widget is not currently on your website and you need it on your website, or any other type of technical support that you might need, you can meet with Adrian or anyone else on his team to be able to get that support. Below that, you have access to our knowledge base, articles, tutorials, guides of how to do most of the things on our platform. You can go in and easily search the subject and you'll have it under a bunch of different headings. So you can go through and search for whatever you're looking for. If you don't see what you need, that's a perfect opportunity to book some time with one of our support members and go ahead and get the help that you need. We also have all of our previous webinar episodes. This one's going to be posted there as well. So this will, if you have to jump off early or if you wanted somebody else on your team to see this, you can certainly go in there and see any of our previous episodes. And then lastly, if you have someone specific on our team that you want to meet with, we have tried to make it as easy as possible. So if you can just remember somebody's first name and you had a great experience getting help from them, you can come back and find them if you need to. So any person on our team or somebody you met at a trade show perhaps, and you wanted to book some time with them specifically to go over something, you can certainly do that as well and get direct access to their calendars. This is the single best access for support to our team, unless of course you have somebody's phone number on speed dial or saved to your phone. So you can very easily get the support that you need here. And now before we open it up to a Q&A, and by the way, throw any questions you have about the platform itself, about this update, anything that you saw today or anything you'd like to see, throw your questions in. But before we jump to that, I did want to ask this team specifically about some features that they particularly like that are not very well known. And before we let people start answering that, I also wanted to highlight this team is the front line of any and all support to our customers. So this team is the one that goes and answers pretty much every question that comes our way. Any type of meeting that needs any kind of help, this is the team that does it. To date this year, this team has conducted 733 support meetings this year alone, just so far, and we're only sitting in June. These guys are on calls all day, every day, supporting contractors. If you're just thinking about a way that you could use this tool better, they've seen it all. If you're thinking about, hey, I don't know if I'm getting everything out of this tool, trust me, they will be able to find any kind of gaps in the way that you're using this tool. These guys are absolutely, guys and gals, sorry, I just keep generalizing. Everybody on this call is an expert on this tool and can absolutely help you make sure you are getting everything you can out of this. So without further ado, Adrian, what is your kind of little known feature that you think more people should know about in the ROOFLE dashboard?
The kind of little node feature that I think people should be aware of is a brand new one here. It's the ability here to label your discounts there in rep quotes. So when you give a discount in rep quotes, you can now label those so that you can tell, hey, this was for a veterans discount, or this was for our spring sale or promo. So you can kind of keep track of that much more easily.
Perfect. And as a little guide here, Courtney's going to show us exactly where to do that. And then we can go ahead and add the note for, hey, what's the type of discount? Why did this come up? If it's something specific, this is again a new feature. You can go and throw a discount on the fly of, hey, I had to knock this down to a round number to get this customer to purchase. So I knocked $73.58 off of this project to get it down to a flat 15 grand. And that's just what he needed to see. Or whatever the case may be, you've got that information in there. Keith, what's a little known feature? What's something that you think more people should be making use of?
Yeah, definitely. It's an underutilized feature, in my opinion, is the second button that's on there on the widget. Courtney, are you able to pull that up? Yeah, there's a second button there. You can link things like a calendar link, for example. And I'm really curious to see what contractors would come up with that's maybe even better than a calendar link there. You guys are so creative with the way this tool is being used. So love your feedback on ways that you might make use of that second button.
Yeah, I love that one. I do try to hit that one to just about anybody. I like the concept of talk to a pro to see if there's like a link that you can put to the rest of your team, or like learn about this product. If you're using something really specific to your market, or if you're using like a solar shingle or something that you really want to highlight, learn about this product and link them to a page that teaches them, hey, why does this product maybe cost more? Or why is this maybe the best choice for, why is this America's favorite shingle, or whatever the case may be? Courtney, what's your favorite kind of secret feature?
My secret feature has to do with the ordered measurement. So I don't know if everyone knows this, but for example, this one does have an ordered measurement and all the things that it can impact within. So for example, with this address, we've done a Geospan Express and a G Pro. But what I can do here is I can use what ROOFLE was able to detect, but since I have accurate, I can actually get it to match exactly what that report had. So this is really nice that it's going to impact not only the total square footage, if that needs to be updated with that ordered measurement, but also having that ability to add that within that proposal as well.
And that updates the pitch as well. It updates the entire square measurement plus the waste factor and everything, right?
Correct. Yep. So
Yeah,
as
I
you
love that
click
feature.
into everything, you're going to be able to choose all of the settings that are coming from within that ordered measurement there.
Yeah, that's definitely a sneaky one. That one is one that makes a huge difference, especially if you're using this as a way to get all of the work that you can done out of the way before you actually meet a customer on site, and go and run through all of the kind of details, all of the additional cost discounts, what have you, before a sales rep is actually in that customer's home. Colleen, what's your secret feature?
So one thing that I think is very underutilized but can really come in handy has to do with our proposals. So going back to the lead dashboard, if you drill into a lead and then click on that proposal section, as the proposal kind of cycles through whoever needs to sign it, that status will actually update as things are happening. So if you just created a draft, it will show as new. Once it's sent, it will show as sent, viewed, signed, or expired if you have expiration terms programmed in there. I think it's a great way to just very easily keep track of what's going on once the proposal is sent out to the homeowner. So if there's a little bit of a delay between the time it's sent and the time that you receive it back, you can reach out to the homeowner, be able to, you know, kind of ask what's going on and make sure everything stays on track to get the project started.
I love that. That's such a good one. And then the one that I want to highlight, Courtney, if you don't mind going to the products page. So as you guys probably know, I take care of our financing and I focus on Contractor Loan Pro and teaching contractors how to use financing to their advantage and offer it to their customers. A feature that I really like is if you are using our built-in financing Contractor Loan Pro and you're carrying products that have a dealer fee, you can actually factor that dealer fee in very similar to the way that you would factor in a waste factor. So let's say you're carrying 4 different products. You have a maximum dealer fee. Your highest dealer fee is 8%, for instance. You can come in here. You can set to build in a maximum 8% dealer fee to every single project that you quote. So your customer is always seeing your price plus the financing. You can then discount that if they're doing a cash offer or if you just need to negotiate the price to make the sale. And you're not locked into a single number. You can put in a different dealer fee percentage for each and every product that you carry based on what financing you're offering. It's one that's very frequently overlooked and people will sometimes forget about, especially the first 2 or 3 times that they use financing and go, man, these dealer fees are killing me. It's like, well, build it in, pass it on to your customer. There's a very quick and easy way to do that and build it into the overall price so that you and your sales team don't have to worry about it after the fact. That's definitely my kind of little known feature that I don't think enough people are making use of. And with that, I did want to open it up to the Q&A. I know we've got a couple of questions in here, so I'll kind of kick these around to the team that's here and available. So are we going to be integrating with other mainstream measurement tools like RoofScope, etc.? Adrian, I feel like that's probably a good one for you.
Yeah. We are, like, you know, kind of speaking with folks and you know, getting some, you know, feedback from you know, other, you know, measurement providers and so forth. So I'm going to give you a little bit of a cop-out answer, unfortunately. That's, you know, kind of happening at we'll call it the C-suite level here. Those kinds of negotiations. I'm sure at some point we will have more in the future. I just don't have any kind of like solid idea of who that would be or when, unfortunately. But believe you me, we've got people knocking on our door looking to try and get integrated here.
Awesome. From Jason Rockwell, we have any suggestions for lead nurturing and follow-up process? I'll leave that one up to the group. Who wants to tackle that one? I feel like we got a couple of people who could handle that very well. Heath, what you got?
So I just worked with a contractor today. We have a Leap integration, and I was able to track down a basically instructional video on how to build an automated follow-up when a lead populated from ROOFLE into Leap. So those workflows are largely attached to the CRM, but you really want to get, and I'm really partial to the copy that goes out in an email with your scheduling link to your team with some type of copy that alludes to the next step in our process is to get us on site where we're going to lock in this price and apply any promotional discounts we may be circulating at this time. So that gives them a little bit more juice to get you on site where the magic happens and you contract that job out.
Awesome. Love that. Something else that I like, besides obviously automations are great for that. Something else that I like is trying to kind of have somebody in-house who tries to manage as much of that outreach to a customer as possible and reaching out personally, introducing themselves, whether they're leaving a message or shooting a text message to a customer, introducing themselves by name. Hey, this is Mary with Greatest Roofing South Carolina. I saw that you got an instant quote on our website. I wanted to follow up with some questions, see if we could book some time to get a specialist out to your house, and putting it in a more personal tone, even through a text message, even through a voicemail, and getting that personalized tone to say, hey, I'm a human being that's responding to this. I know it's a cool and modern feature that we do it automatically, but I'm actually a person here trying to help you out with this and get you the answers that you need. We've got a couple more good questions in here. Third-party email automations and funnel building training suggestions outside of our CRM. So for email automations, I don't personally have a lot of experience with that. Somebody else on the call might. For general automations, Proline is an integrated partner that we work with for calls, text messages, and stuff like that. That's a great funnel building feature as well. Anybody else want to tackle that one if you have something specific to add?
I would say the address only leads. So if you're not aware that you have address only leads, they are going to be under this tab here. You can actually get a webhook to send those leads to any type of marketing. So like dope marketing, you could absolutely do some sort of mailer campaign with any time that you do get an address only lead automatically. And I'm seeing that being kind of a really useful tool, but also, being aware of who's looking that didn't get a price. So knowing that if they fall into this address only, they never saw anything. So having a rep drop by with a quote, but then also trying to find a way to do some sort of mailer marketing campaign since you do have their address.
Yeah, there you go. I know that for sure dope marketing has some ways to kind of automate that process as far as sending out direct mailers. I'm not sure who else would be able to do direct mailer stuff. But to that same point for address only, do we have automations or notifications set up for address only submissions? That's from Laura D.
There is not a notification at this time, but there is a way to do a webhook specifically for those address onlys.
Oh, there you go. So you could have it run to your CRM, and then if your CRM can notify you on new leads, it could work that way. And then I have, Brian M, I'm going to get to you here in a second. There's some shorter ones. There's some shorter ones here that I wanted to see. Max V, what is the best way to utilize ROOFLE and AccuLink since it looks like ROOFLE is almost a CRM? Who wants to grab that one?
Yeah,
I can speak on yeah, thank you, Adrian.
Yeah, no.
Because I'm not as familiar.
Yeah, so in terms of, coming in and linking, RoofQuote Pro and AccuLinks, I'll say, we're not built to be a CRM. We are built to be kind of a top of funnel kind of lead generator here. We want to be bolted on to those kinds of systems that are much more equipped to kind of deal with customer relations or job tracking, things like that. We really thrive when we're able to give you some really strong well kind of vetted leads here that are they're interested. They've got a quote here from you. It's very easy to follow up with them once they hit your system. We're not out to change how you utilize your CRM. We just want to get some really solid leads in there from the start. So I would say, the best thing to do would be to hook up RoofQuote Pro to AccuLinks and then just have our leads flow directly in, and then have your processes take over. No need to reinvent the wheel here.
Oh, go ahead, Peace. Go.
I was just going to say the AccuLink stays where it's at because of everything it really, in my opinion, does for production, right? All your photos are going to live there. There's an app where you can tag them once they get on site to kind of piggyback on what Adrian's saying. We're the top of funnel that feeds into the CRM, and we're feeding qualified leads into it to whatever workflow you've already built there. And that's the part that we're not going to ever be, it's not on the roadmap to replace a CRM because it does dictate all of, it helps automate production and material ordering and stores all your photos and things that have to happen for your production guys to thrive.
There we go. And last one, Brian M, can the house images shown on the pricing screen or on the PDF be changed? Can the PDF the customer receives be customized with the business logo? If you have your logo attached to your account, go ahead, Colleen. Ashley, please.
I can actually share my screen just to kind of demonstrate what we're talking about here. So to answer the second question, yes, the email can be customized with your logo. So in the portal, what you want to do is click your profile picture in the upper right-hand corner, click on company profile, and really it's a one and done. On the left-hand side of the screen here, you can just upload your logo, and then any email, quote, proposal that is sent out from the portal, your branding will automatically be on there. On the proposal, it does allow you to upload an additional image if you wanted, but on quotes and proposals, as long as your logo is uploaded in here, that will be sent on any emails. As far as changing the photo on the pricing page, the purpose of the photo is really just to like convey the product and the image. I'm sorry, the product and the color. So the closest we can get to actually changing the photo is if you select the color from the pricing page and then go to email details. That will be the product and the color that is shown in the email that is sent to the homeowner. You also have the ability to exclude the project image if you so choose, which you can just turn on and off right here where it says project image. And then you'll see that everything updates instantly with any changes that you make. So that is the closest we can get to changing the actual image on the pricing page.
Perfect. Thank you so much for that, Colleen. And that is going to wrap it for today. For any kind of further questions that anyone has, go ahead and jump into win.roofle.com. Grab some time to meet with anybody on this call or anybody that you find on that page to get the support that you need. That is the single best place that you can go for getting kind of further training, further support, and all that good stuff. Anybody on there would be more than happy to help you out with anything. And outside of that, we've got a couple more webinars coming up throughout this summer. We've got a couple more updates coming to the platform throughout this summer. And as always, catch us at different shows. If there's a trade show near you that is in the roofing space, chances are somebody from ROOFLE is going to be there. So if you want to meet somebody in person and go over any kind of thoughts, ideas, questions, feel free to do so. Otherwise, thank you so much for joining us, everyone. Courtney, Heath, Colleen, Adrian, thank you all so much for your time jumping on here and making all of this possible. Everybody have a great day. Catch you next time.